Hi everyone, hi students. In this session, we are going to discuss concept of vapor pressure. Concept of vapor pressure. When we observe open vessels, lakes, or ponds, in summer season, water level will be decreases due to the phenomenon of vaporization or evaporation. Vaporization or evaporation. Due to this phenomenon, surface level of surface liquids quantity will be decreases. So this vaporization means the transformation of liquid molecule to the vapor phase is known as vaporization. Simply, liquid state convert into vapor phase. This is completely endothermic process and it is surface phenomenon. Is a cleaner. This vaporization or evaporation can explained by kinetic molecular theory. It is explained by kinetic molecular theory. According to this theory, liquid molecules are held together by intermolecular force of attractions. Is a cleaner. First point, liquid molecules. Suppose if you take some quantity of here we are taken some quantity of liquid. In this liquid, all the liquid molecules are held together by intermolecular force of attractions. Okay. Next point here, all the molecules kinetic energy are different, but average kinetic energy of the liquid state is same. Is it clear? Now come to here. In generally, in bulk solution, those molecules possessing minimum or lower kinetic energy, they are possessed at the bottom of liquid. Among these liquid particles, which liquid molecules having more kinetic energy, there comes to the surface of liquid. Is it clear? Means generally in bulk of the liquid, liquid molecules kinetic energy is lower and surface liquid molecules having higher kinetic energy. Those surface liquid molecules possessing high kinetic energy, they are ready to overcome intermolecular force of attraction. When they are overcome this attraction, these molecules are try to escape into surrounding atmosphere, and here this transformation of liquid to vapor phase, that phenomenon is known as evaporation or vaporization. Due to vaporization, those molecules having high kinetic energy, they are goes into the surrounding atmosphere. In closed vessel, that vapor molecule goes into the empty space. Okay. Now, higher kinetic energy molecule goes into the surrounding atmosphere. In remaining bulk of the solution having liquid molecules having low kinetic energy. Remember, in this vaporization process, higher kinetic energy molecules will be escaped or converted into vapor. The remaining bulk of the solution kinetic energy is least. When kinetic energy decreases, therefore temperature also decreases. Reason, kinetic energy of the molecule directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Already high kinetic energy molecule escaped. The remaining liquid solution of liquid molecules having low kinetic energy. When kinetic energy decreases, temperature also decreases. Based on this principle, in mud pots, water in winter season, in summer season, what will happen? It cools after some time due to higher kinetic energy molecules are vaporization. Is it clean? Now come to here. This is the vaporization. Vaporization means the the surface molecule transformed from liquid state to vapor phase. Now rate of vaporization, next in this one, rate of vaporization, the number of liquid molecules escaped transformed to the vapor phase per unit time is known as rate of vaporization. So, number of liquid molecule transferred to the surrounding atmosphere per unit time is known as rate of vaporization. What factors affecting the rate of vaporization we have to see, sir? First one, nature of liquids. Second one, surface area. Third one, temperature. Fourth one, air current over surface of liquid. Carefully listen. Nature of liquid. Suppose in between liquid molecules, intermolecular force of attraction very strong, then its vaporization is less. Intermolecular force of attractions are weak, what will happen? Easily that molecule escaped into atmosphere. So which liquids having less intermolecular attraction, their vaporization nature is more. Okay. Next point, surface area. Suppose in closed container some liquid I am taken and open container, a narrow opening, here broad opening is there. Where vaporization is more means where surface area of the liquid, surface of liquid is more, their vaporization is more. Suppose in this here surface area is more, that's why vaporization, more molecule occupies more surface area, therefore more molecule try to escape into vapor phase. Is it clear? So here vaporization is more, here surface area is very less, that's why surface molecule less and vaporization also less. Surface area increases, vaporization increases. Intermolecular attractions decreases, vaporization increases. Next one, as the temperature increases, kinetic energy of the molecules increases. Already we seen here, temperature rises, kinetic energy of the molecules increases, means more molecule comes to the surface, more molecule try to escape liquid state to vapor phase. Is it clear? Simply kinetic energy here, temperature increase, what will happen? Vaporization of the liquid also increases. Next one, air current over the surface of liquid. In generally without air, what will happen? Here escaping of liquid molecule goes is very less. If the wind oscillating in that direction only, vapor molecule easily comes out. But this condition applied only in open vessels but not in closed vessels. is a cleaner. These are the conditions. What's the rate of vaporization? So if the slowly when vaporization increases, your liquid turns into the vapor molecule. In vapor phase, liquid these molecules increases in vapor molecule. In vapor phase, molecules are increases due to vaporization. After certain time of period, after certain period of time, what will happen? These liquid molecules, they are these vapor molecules, they start collide with each other. When they are collide or bombarded with each other, some vapor molecules kinetic energy decreases. Those molecule kinetic energy decreases, they are lower kinetic energy molecule. When kinetic energy decreases, that molecule comes to the surface of liquid. Higher kinetic energy molecule will goes to the up. In closed vessel, if due to bombarding between the vapor phase molecules, what will happen? Some molecules kinetic energy may be decreases. Which molecule kinetic energy decreases, they comes to the surface of liquid. Is it clear? Then that molecule turns into the vapor phase to the liquid state. This process we can call condensation. Condensation, what's it? The transformation of vapor molecules into liquid state is known as condensation. So you see, in this container, initially we seen only vaporization. Liquid turns to the vapor state. After some time, lower kinetic energy molecule comes to the liquid state. Okay, now the transformation of vapor molecule to the liquid state is known as condensation. Is it clear? Here, rate of condensation. Rate of condensation or speed of condensation. The number of vapor molecules turns into liquid state per unit time is known as rate of condensation. The number of vapor molecules turns to liquid state per unit time is known as rate of condensation. So in this, when we are taken liquid initially, only rate vaporization takes place. Slowly rate of vaporization decreases. At the same time, when vapor molecule increases, slowly rate of condensation increases. Carefully see, initially at high position, vaporization is there. Speed of vaporization is more. But condensation is less. Slowly rate of condensation decreases. Slowly rate of vaporization decreases. Simultaneously, rate of condensation increases. At certain period of time, the rate of condensation equal to rate of vaporization equal to rate of condensation. That is we call as state of liquid vapor equilibrium, where the state at which rate of vaporization equal to rate of condensation, that is we call as liquid vapor equilibrium. Once if equilibrium established between vapor state and liquid state, what is that meaning? Suppose per unit time equilibrium is established. Come to the meaning. Equilibrium is established per unit time. 10 liquid molecules turns to vapor state. We told already rate of vaporization equal to rate of condensation, means within the same time same number of vapor molecule turns to liquid state. See sir, 10 liquid molecule if it goes to here, 10 vapor molecule comes into the liquid. Whatever the time is goes on, what will happen? If the 5 it goes to here, 5 comes to down. If the 100 goes to up, 100 comes to down, means the total number of liquid molecule or total composition of liquid or total composition of vapor never change after attain equilibrium. Reason, rate of vaporization equal to rate of condensation. Now come to the main point, vapor pressure. After attain equilibrium between vapor phase and liquid phase, after attain equilibrium, the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules of the liquid is known as vapor pressure. Initially vapor pressure we won't calculate. First vaporization takes place. After some time condensation takes place. Speed of vaporization must be equal to speed of condensation. That is we call state of equilibrium. After attain state of equilibrium, the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules of the liquid is called vapor pressure. Carefully see, sir. Vaporization directly proportional to surface area and temperature, but vapor pressure is independent of surface area. Vapor pressure is independent of surface area, but here vapor pressure varies exponentially with increasing temperature. Vapor pressure increase exponentially with the temperature, but vapor pressure is independent of surface area. But vaporization is directly proportional to surface area as well as temperature, but vapor pressure is independent of surface area. Vapor pressure exponentially increases with increasing temperature. Sir, this temperature and vapor pressure relation is explained by Clausius-Clapeyron theoretical equation. Now we are going to see Clausius-Clapeyron theoretical equation. Clausius-Clapeyron equation theoretically derived relation between temperature and vapor pressure of the liquid. Simple, sir. When temperature increases, kinetic energy of the molecules increases. Kinetic energy of more liquid molecule, liquid is there, more liquid molecules kinetic energy increases, more molecule comes to the surface area, and more molecule try to overcome the intermolecular attraction. More liquid molecule try to vaporize. More molecules vaporized, vapor phase molecule increases, no doubt vapor pressure will be increases. Therefore, with increasing temperature, kinetic energy of liquid molecule increases and vapor pressure of the molecules also increases. Vapor pressure of water we called aqueous tension. Vapor pressure of pure water is called aqueous tension. In generally first year, states of matter lesson, here while doing the dry gas pressure case, what we are taking, gas pressure minus aqueous tension, means every gas having some water vapor pressure, water vapor pressure. So that is we should remove, means P dry gas, generally states of matter related point. P dry gas is equal to P total minus aqueous tension. Total means it is gas pressure as well as water vapor pressure is there. In that, if the aqueous tension is removed, only pure gas pressure, pure dry gas pressure we are going to get. Okay, now come to the main point. Aqueous tension, pressure exerted by the water vapor is called, what's it? It is called aqueous tension. Here Clausius-Clapeyron equation is given by log of P2 by P1 is equal to delta HV, enthalpy of vaporization, by 2.303 or 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. Sir, here P2 is vapor pressure at T1 temperature, T2 temperature. P1 is vapor pressure of liquid molecules at T1 temperature. Here delta HV, enthalpy of vaporization, enthalpy of vaporization. Exactly. Now if we draw the graph 1 by T log P vapor pressure, we are getting straight line with negative slope. Exactly. This is the what's that? Derivation is not there, but is seen. It is what Clashes-Clapeyron equation. It gives the relation between vapor pressure of liquid and temperature. Exactly. With increasing temperature, vapor pressure, how it is increases, that information we are getting. And last one here in this equation, R is means what's that? Gas constant. Okay. Now come to the next point, boiling point. Boiling point or boiling temperature. The temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid, vapor pressure excited by the pressure excited by the vapor is equal to atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. In generally, atmospheric pressure at sea level we are taking 1 atmosphere. Here the temperature at which this vapor pressure is equal to this atmospheric pressure, that temperature, what will happen? The temperature we call boiling point. In generally, intermolecular attractions are strong. Here vapor pressure is very less. Intermolecular attractions are weak. Vapor pressure here, vapor molecules are more molecule easily escape and more vapor molecule will be there. More vapor molecule there means no doubt more vapor pressure is there. Is a clean. So here carefully see, intermolecular attraction where it is less, there more molecules vaporize and vapor pressure easily equal to atmospheric pressure. So here you see, based on this intermolecular attractions, these liquids we can divide it into two types, volatile liquids and non-volatile liquids. Volatile liquids. If the liquid molecule having less intermolecular attraction, their volatile nature, evaporation nature is more. Is it clear? Here volatile nature is more, vapor pressure more, boiling point is less. Here these volatile liquids having high vapor pressure and low boiling point. Example, ethers, benzene, cyclohexane, acetone. Is a cleaner. These type of liquids having low boiling point, high vapor pressure. Reason, intermolecular attractions between the liquid molecule is less. Next one, non-volatile. Here place is not there. We will write here. Non-volatile liquids. Here non-volatile liquids means volatile nature or escaping nature is less. Why escaping nature or evaporation nature less means in between molecules attractions are strong. When attractions are strong, to escape that molecule we should give the more energy. We are giving energy in the form of heat. When heat we are giving, temperature is rises. So this type of non-volatile liquid vaporization nature is less. Non-volatile, no volatile nature, no vaporization nature. Okay now, vaporization nature less means vapor molecule less. Vapor molecule less means vapor pressure less. So these are having low vapor pressure and high boiling point. High boiling point. Simply say, sir, boiling point means the temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to atmospheric pressure. That particular temperature is called vapor pressure of that, boiling point of that liquid. Here based on that boiling point, these liquids we can divide volatile liquids and non-volatile liquids. Volatile liquids having high vapor pressure, low boiling point. Reason, volatile liquid intermolecular attractions are weak. Now come to the non-volatile liquid. These are having low vaporization, high boiling point. Reason, in this non-volatile liquid intermolecular attractions are strong. Example, water. Okay. Water, like there's some liquids we are going to take here. Intermolecular attraction or strong hydrogen bonding if you present, such a liquids act as non-volatile liquids. Now we are going to see vapor pressure of liquid solutions. So this to understand, one small diagram you have to see. This is the container 1. This is the component 2. Component 1, component 2. Here liquid, you remember this is, it is liquid. This is also liquid 2. Now these two are mixed in another container. Here this one contain component 1 plus component 2. The total quantity we are taking like this. Look at here, sir. These three are closed vessels. You consider as closed vessels. Here pure liquid 1 I am taken here. Component 2 pure, there is no other substance here. So this is pure liquid. Sir, in pure these two when mixed up, this is we call as solution. The vapor pressure of pure liquid 1, your vapor pressure denoted with P, and it is component 1 P1, not indicate pure component 1 vapor pressure. Your pure component 2 vapor pressure in the same way we can denote it with P2 naught. P1 naught is component 1 pure vapor pressure, component 2 pure component 2 vapor pressure. Is it clear? These two after mixing in solution, How much vapor pressure exerted by component 1 considered as P1. Vapor pressure of the liquid 1 in solution. P2. Vapor pressure of the component 2 in solution. After mixing two components, what will happen here? Vapor pressure of component 1 in the solution is P1. Vapor pressure of component 2 in solution is P2. P2 naught is nothing but vapor pressure of component 2 in pure state, not in solution state. Is a clean. So what is vapor pressure? At a state of equilibrium, the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules of the liquid is called vapor pressure. So here you see, after mixing solution, mole fraction of this one, component 1, x1, mole fraction of component 2, x2. In a solution, sum of the mole fractions of all components equal to 1. This point also you try to remember. Sum of the mole fractions of all components in the solution is 2. Okay, x1 plus x2 equal to, x1 plus x2 equal to 1. Sum of mole fractions of all component equal to 1. Now come to here. To understand this concept, here new one more law is proposed in Raoult's law. The vapor pressures of liquid solutions explained by Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, for a solution of volatile liquids, the vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Suppose this is the solution containing component 1, component 2. This is both are liquids, both are volatile liquids is there. And vapor pressure of component 1 P1, vapor pressure of component 2 P2. Component 1 mole fraction in the solution is x1. Mole fraction of component 2 in the solution x2. Remember the two. Once again come to Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, for a solution of volatile liquids, the vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. Its mole fraction in the solution. Suppose component 1 case, if you are seeing in component 1 in the solution, its partial vapor pressure of the component 1 x, according to Raoult's law, it is directly proportional to x1. What's that? Once again you see Raoult's law. For a volatile solution, partial vapor pressure of each component, partial vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. P1 directly proportional to x1. So to remove the here proportionality, we are using proportionality constant P1 naught into x1. This is the partial vapor pressure of the component 1 or liquid 1 in the solution. In the same way, now come to the component 2. In component 2, partial vapor pressure of the liquid is directly proportional to its mole fraction x2. To remove this proportionality, P2 is equal to P02 into x2. So you see, this is the partial vapor pressure of component 1 in the solution. This is partial vapor pressure of component 2 in the solution. What about P1 naught? It is vapor pressure of partial vapor pressure of pure component 1. Means here this is when it is separately present at same temperature. How much? These three are present at same temperature. At same temperature rising, pure liquid how much vapor pressure exerts, that is P1 naught. Here pure liquid how much pressure exerts, that is P2 naught. According to Dalton's law of partial pressure, total pressure of the solution, total vapor pressure over the solution is equal to sum of partial pressures of sum of partial vapor pressures of all components present in the solution. What components present here? Component 1 and component 2. So P, according to Dalton's law, P2, so P total is equal to P1 plus P2. Here P total is equal to P1 means what's it? P1 naught into x1 plus P2 naught into x2. Already you know sum of the mole fraction of x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Shall we apply instead of x1? Shall we write 1 minus x2? Here according to this one, where x1 is equal to 1 minus x1 plus x2 equal to 1, x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. Shall we substitute here? If we substitute, Pt is equal to (1 minus x2 plus P2 naught into x2, expand inside. Pt is equal to P1 naught minus P1 naught x2 plus P2 naught x2. Sir, here x2 is common. You take x2 common. Pt is equal to P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into x2. This is the equation. Can you see here what is Pt? Total vapor pressure of the over this solution. P1 naught vapor pressure of the pure component 1. P2 naught vapor pressure of the pure component 2. x2 mole fraction of component 2. Sorry, according to this equation, total vapor pressure is related to the mole fraction of x2 or mole fraction of component 2. According to this equation, total vapor pressure directly proportional to the mole fraction of component 2. You remember here in component 1, in general in solution, 1 number we are giving to the solvent, 2 number we are giving to the solute. So here P1 naught means pure vapor pressure of the solvent, P2 naught means vapor pressure of the pure component, that is nothing but what's that? Solute. x2 means mole fraction of solute, x1 mole fraction of solvent. So according to this equation, total pressure is related to any one of the mole fraction. Next, according to this equation, total pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction of solute. Once again, you see sir, Raoult's law. What Raoult's law? It is applicable for dilute solution. For a solution of volatile liquids, the partial vapor pressure of each component is directly proportional to mole fraction of its mole fraction in the solution is known as Raoult's law. Next one, this is the component 1. Its mole fraction, its partial pressure directly proportional to x1. Equation we are getting like this. Component 2, P2 equal to this one. According to Dalton's law of partial pressure, total vapor pressure is of solution equal to sum of partial vapor pressures of all components in the solution. Therefore pt equal to p1 plus p2. pt equal to, here these are we are substituting, we'll get the final equation. pt equal to this the equation. In this case we try to draw the graph. Before draw the graph you have to see liquid 1, its pure vapor pressure P0 1. Liquid 2, its pure vapor pressure is P2 naught. After mixing these two solution total vapor pressure P1 plus P2, mole fractions liquid 1 x1, liquid 2 x2, sum of x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. That is, you see sir, in this solution here you see, assuming one condition, here liquid 1 you consider as less volatile than liquid 2. Here this is fastly volatile, and volatile nature is more, this volatile nature is less. Volatile nature increases, vapor molecules here increase, vapor molecules increases, vapor pressure increases. So based on this condition you will get what's P1 naught is less than P2 naught. Reason, it is less volatile, less vapor pressure will produce. Here more volatile, more vapor pressure will produce. Now according to Raoult's law, what we are seeing sir, according to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. According to that, P1 directly proportional to x1, here P2 directly proportional to x2. If you draw the graph, partial pressure versus mole fraction, mole fraction vapor pressure I am taken here, mole fraction here taken, carefully seeing. Here mole fraction condition, sum of x1 plus x2 equal to 1. Now based on this, suppose here x1 equal to 1, then what is x2? If x1 only 1 means together is 1, so x2 equal to 0. Slowly when x1 decreases, what will happen? x2 increases. Suppose x2 increases from 0 to 1, then x1 is equal to 0. But always sum of x1 plus x2 equal to 1. Is a clear? So if the x2 equal to 1 means here indicate only component 2 is present. x1 is equal to 1 means in that there is no second component, only component 1 is present. So you see here condition, suppose here x1 is equal to 1, x2 is equal to 0. So here to here x1 will be decrease, 1 become 0. At the same time your mole fraction of x2, if you see, this is what will happen here 0, if increasing it goes x2 equal to 1. Carefully see, according to this one, P1 directly proportional to x1 with increasing, sorry, here x1 here to here increase means x1 here 0, x1 here 1. First I am going to say component 1, x1 here to here increase. So from right to left, mole fraction of x1 when increase, partial pressure of x1 also, partial vapor pressure of x1 also increase. So this graph line we are getting like this. This what sir? Carefully see. With increasing mole fraction of component 1, its partial pressure also increases. This is what, sir? P1. Where here intercept is obtained, here x1 equal to 1, there is no x2, means only pure component 1 is there. So this pressure we can call P1 naught. P1 naught. Next one, see, in down left to right, mole fraction of x2, mole fraction of component 2 increases. Mole fraction of component 2 increases, its partial pressure also increase. Here this is we call P2, where it intercept here came x2 equal to 1. At this position there is no x1 pure component, its vapor pressure we call P2 naught. Is it clear? Now if we connected, this line indicate P total is equal to P1 plus P2, total pressure of the solution. Carefully see, already we are assuming here, what's that is liquid 1 less volatile. Less volatile means less vapor pressure than liquid 2. Liquid 2 more volatile, so it exhibit more vapor pressure. Carefully see, based on that solution total vapor pressure is minimum equal to vapor pressure of pure component 1. Reason, this is only less volatile, so total pressure, minimum total vapor pressure equal to P1 naught. Maximum total pressure of the solution is equal to P2 naught. Reason, your second component is more volatile, that's why we are getting the graph vapor pressure versus mole fraction. We are getting like this. This line indicate vapor pressure of the, this line indicate vapor pressure of component 2 in the solution. Here indicate maximum vapor pressure of solution, that is equal to vapor pressure of pure component 2. This is vapor pressure of component 1 in the solution. This point indicate what's a vapor pressure of the component 1 in pure state. Solution minimum vapor pressure, in solution phase minimum vapor pressure is equal to P1 naught. Solution maximum vapor pressure is equal to P2 naught. Is it clear? This is the vapor pressure and mole fraction graph. Carefully see, this point is very important in terms of entrance examination. Carefully see. Calculation of composition of vapor phase above the solution. Sir, composition. This is what we call, carefully see, up to here liquid phase. This is we call as vapor phase. Here in liquid phase vapor composition means x1 plus x2. You know already x1 is equal to, how to calculate number of moles of component 1 by number of moles of component 1 plus component 2. x2 equal to n2 by n1 plus n2. This is the composition present in the liquid phase. But we are talking about this. Now we are going to talking about composition, calculation of composition of solution in vapor phase above the solution. Suppose vaporization happen, how much amount of component in vapor state, how much amount of liquid 1 molecule there, how much amount of liquid 2 molecules are there, that composition to calculate. Here one more thing is here condition y1 and y2, these two are mole fraction of component 1 and component 2 1 and 2 respectively. Component 1 and 2 respectively in vapor phase. Vapor phase. At the same time, vapor pressure of component 1 P1, vapor pressure of component 2 P2. P2, P1 are, remember, P2, P1 are vapor pressures of component 1 and 2 respectively. Y1, Y2 are mole fraction of liquid in vapor phase. Here how much molecules there? That mole fraction I am considered as Y1 and Y2. Now, first one, mole fraction of component 1 in vapor phase, that is Y1, is equal to partial vapor pressure of component 1 by partial vapor pressure of component 2. So remember, in vapor phase mole fraction, if you are going to calculate partial vapor pressure of component 1 by total vapor pressure, that is also we can write P1 by P total. P1 by P total. In the same way, mole fraction of component 2 in vapor phase, mole fraction of component 2 in vapor phase, no space to write, so direct formula I am writing. Mole fraction of component 2 in vapor phase, that is we call Y2, is equal to what we can write, P2 by P1 plus P2 or P2 by P total. So in vapor phase mole fraction of component 2, you want vapor pressure of component 2 by total vapor pressure. In vapor phase mole fraction of component 1, if you want partial vapor pressure of component 1 by total vapor pressure. Is it clear? These are the formulas important to calculate vapor pressure, mole fraction of each component in the vapor phase, not in solution. Solution means x1, x2 you can use.